What's up, guys? This is LP from Global. Today we're going to be taking a look at a farmable and nice and consistent and somewhat speedy Giant Speed 10 team. Today, this is my Giant Speed 10 speed team, so we're not going to use this team. This is definitely not farmable. But I was preparing the video and I hit a new record in 49 seconds, so I was super excited. So I was like, you know what, let me add that to the video. Oh man, if only that was 6-star. I would try to see if that went into speed. All right, so without further ado, we're actually going to do a quick talking point today. So LP's thought of the day. So many YouTubers out there, right? We kind of touched on this yesterday. So many YouTubers out there, and everybody's got a different opinion. And like noses, everybody's got a different opinion, okay? I have watched so many farmable teams and opinions by various different people. And there's one thing that all these Guardian players have in common. They always use their runes. And like you can't fault them for that, because if you're a Guardian 2 player or Guardian 3 player and you've been playing the game for 2 years and you've invested 2 years worth of rune farming, you're going to have really good runes. So I, as a viewer, am not impressed when I watch certain high-level YouTubers using Amin and Darian and Giants 10 with freaking 1500 defense, 150 speed, and 40,000 HP. And I'm like, are you joking right now? You have high-level runes. Just because using a farmable team doesn't impress me. So today, I'm going to take a step back and use lower tier runes, okay? There's not blues and greens. Some of these runes are 6 stars. What I mean by lower tier is that they're not maxed. Some of the units, like my Veramos, I completely redid, and I didn't even power up one of his runes at all. So he has like plus 9,000 HP as opposed to plus 20,000 like I had him before. I had him on Violent before, and I had him 220 speed with 30,000 HP and like 1,200 defense. Those are good runes. But if we look at my Veramos now, where is he? Veramos. We will notice that he is not on crazy runes. Okay, these are very bland runes. This is the rune I was talking about. It's not even powered up. Okay, that's a good rune. Okay, that doesn't count. That's a little unfair. This is okay. You know what we'll do? We might even take that rune off if I have the mana. We're gonna look at Shannon, Ardella. We're looking for Bernard next. See, he's even 5-star. And then we're going to use Bella. Now, out of all of these units, the only unit that I would identify as well-runed that I didn't touch is my Bella. Bella's a little unfair. I used Bella for TOA hard. Reset was a couple days ago. I'm still on auto, and I'm almost at 80, so it's important that I keep my Bella as is. This is the one unit that I would say is on decent runes. These are pretty good runes, okay? I wish she had more accuracy, but this will do for now. So Bella is going to be in here as my solo healer, my consistent defense break, and very, very importantly, the most important thing of all, she is going to be my debuffer. It's important that Bella seizes the attack buff that the boss gets. The way to a successful Giants team is having that ability to minimize the boss's damage. So if you can't cleave fast enough, you don't take enough burst damage. That is very, very important. So that's what Bella's in there for. That's the most important function. Bernard is on very, very weird runes. I took off all my speed runes. And he's not amazing. I'll tell you what, this Destroy rune I think has high speed on it. We'll even take that off. That's got speed on it. So we've got like 2 good runes here in terms of speed. We're talking about people using Bernard in Giants 10 in their videos with like 290 speed, 6-star and all. This is very, 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 very subpar. So these are, I wouldn't identify this as a beginner's team. That would make me naive to put a YouTube video out there identifying this as a beginner's team, but it's certainly not advanced. So when we talk about farmable, usable teams, we're using a lower tier rune caliber. There's no doubt that if we look at other YouTubers, I don't want to put people's names out there, but if we look at other YouTubers and the teams that they use, they're using very high level runes. Okay, without a doubt. So, I took the time here to kind of put these units on really crappy runes. My Shannon here is on awful runes. So I've got maybe one unit here that is well ruined. Okay, now Shannon, my apologies, Bernard's role. Bernard is going to be my turn generator. His Tailwind is going to make it so that I get enough turns that I can, cleanse my debuffs through Veramos, and then I get enough turns to cycle through the appropriate skills. Used in tandem, Bernard and Shannon are part of the Holy Trinity team with Akasis that a lot of starter players use. I don't have an Akasis, so I can't really showcase her, but that's part of the tandem that a lot of people did, like in the introductory phases. So Bernard will offer that, which is very important. And then it's just a secondary defense breaker with an attack break. So that's very important. So that'll minimize, the attack break, I believe, is 75% reduced damage. That I'm not sure about, so we'll have to check that on Wiki. Shannon. Shannon is important because she's on Despair, so she gives a little stun potential through the waves. It's not like I'm running a Lucian in here, so I don't have the ability to kind of cleave through the waves. So this gives an AoE attack slow while also the opportunity to stun. So that's very important, especially when we get that on the towers. But the most important thing here is her skill 3. Her defense buff makes it so that I can take a couple hits. It makes it so that I'm very tanky. I have to be able to take 1 or 2 hits with this team. I've only ran this team twice yesterday as kind of a trial run in preparations for this video. My times were 240 on the first one. It was 239 actually. And then the second one was 256. So this is a sub 3-minute teams. I wasn't even close to failing. So it's very important that, Shannon allowed that consistency because that defense buff kept it so that I was able to take a hit. That's important. And then we've got glancing on skill 1. So we've got the attack break and the glancing on skill 1, which allows me to minimize the boss's damage output. Then we have Ardella. Now, Ardella would be one unit in here that I suppose people could argue isn't farmable. A farmable unit that would be better in here that could be replaced with is Sigmaris. I do not have Sigmaris. We're going to look at my friends list to see if somebody does. We have one. So we will do a run with Sigmaris in here. But first we're going to do the video of what I have prepared as opposed to what I'm not comfortable talking about because it's not my monster, Forgive me. I've got the sniffles because, I'm a little under the weather. So Ardella is not farmable. She is a 3-star. She was a secret dungeon. She is certainly obtainable. Okay, obtainable, maybe not farmable. So if we want to argue that this is 95% farmable, then so be it. But she's not even a 4-star, no lightning required. This is Ardella. You'll notice I don't have high crit rate here, and that's because her passive gives her an extra 25% crit rate, making her 74% crit rate, while also getting a 15% elemental advantage against all these water units. That puts her at, 89% crit rate. So that's very good. And then these are weird runes. I tried to use these runes because these are decent runes, but there's no bonus. So I would argue if you used runes, not as good as these, but you were on rage, well, you might have less attack because my rune might be better than yours, but you also have an extra 40% crit damage. I don't have any of those bonuses. So I made a conscious attempt here to try and use lower tier runes with the same farmable consistency to kind of identify what people can do with these units and still be consistent with their farming. Because this is a very, mid-game kind of team, but it certainly works. Now Ardella's in there because she's going to offer some more skills also. So it's very important that her skill 1 gives a defense break. So she's a 3rd defense breaker, albeit not very necessary. But due to her elemental advantage, it will always apply a different debuff based on that relationship. And in this case, since it's an advantage, she'll apply a defense buff. A defense break, sorry. And then this skill is just a single target DPS damage. So for what I saw it do yesterday was about 29k, 30k. I'm not running any other buffs in here other than Shannon, so I couldn't really, scale the damage more. That's really all she offers. She's the bread and butter DPS to the team. And then lastly, we have Veramos. Now, Veramos offers the pretty much most important role in the team altogether, and that is his ability to cleanse the defense break. He must be fast enough to cleanse the defense break. We're going to take a look at my towers also because there are a lot of people who are also posting videos out there with farmable teams, but then they have max towers. And an extra 25% HP certainly helps your runs. An extra 25% defense and all these max towers, it's like having a completely extra rune. So we're going to take a look at that. Veramos is going to add some CC potential to the team while also cleansing the defense break. So I only have 2 max towers. It is speed and crit damage. So speed is certainly helpful here. The crit damage, not so much. We'll take a look at those towers, though. We don't have to take my word for it. And then we're going to start. What else? So some possible alternatives. I would certainly like Sigmaris in our Della spot. So quick pause, ally buff. We've just got, like I mentioned before, just speed and crit damage. Those are my only max towers. I maxed crit damage as my next tower because I wanted to make my 1 minute Dragons 10 team more consistent. And in order to do that, I needed to, make sure that I was outputting enough damage there in my Dragons run. So the crit damage certainly helps. HP is on, like, I think level 2. And then I don't have any defense. So we're going to let this run. Okay. Now, what I would like to see here in the ideal world is going to be those crystals dying first. Those crystals are the only problem to the run here because they hurt. Exactly that. See, they do some damage. So I wish that the AI kind of targeted them first, but I'm not going to use auto assist here because that wouldn't technically be auto. That would be kind of cheesy. But how much did Ardella do there? 7,000. That's not bad considering there was no attack buff up, and also that passive there reduces damage. Oh, there you go, 13k. Ooh. I was just going to say, where are those stuns, Veramos? Let's go. All right, so we've got some nice synergy going here. It's very, very synergistic, the relationship that we have going on between the units and kind of how they're helping each other. They're working in tandem together. So we've got a little bit of everything going on with this team. There's no one lackluster element that would make this more stable, unless we wanted a Stella in here, for branding. That might make this better, but that wouldn't really be something that we would do from a farmability approach. So we've got the attack speed buff. So that's accelerating the attack bar generation by 50%. So I'm getting my attack bar 2 times as faster thanks to the attack speed buff. Then we've got the attack buff, which is giving me an extra 50% damage output. Then we've got the defense buff, which is giving an extra 50% extra damage, or protection from damage. So 50% extra defense. Okay, so I definitely need more accuracy there on my Bella Dion. I'm noticing she's getting resisted quite frequently. Well, we didn't get any stuns there, but we did land all of the slows, so that's helpful. Oh, get that tower. Nice. Thank you, Veramos. Got all the towers. That's clutch. The towers are really the only, or the crystals rather. Those are the only real, kill condition on these teams. The only thing you really got to be worried about. Those golems can be annoying because they can freeze, but other than the freeze ability, there's no real cause for concern. Oh, 32k, nice. And now here we are on the boss. So we've already got glancing, defense break. There's my turn generator. We didn't get any dots there. So notice how that was 5,000 damage. Uh-oh. Okay, thank you. I'm fast enough to cleanse. Notice the damage that we did there. And we still, that's what I was waiting for. So we took 5,000 from Veramos without, okay, he glanced. Thanks to the glancing. Without, defense buff up. I want to see the difference between what it's like to have the defense buff up. And, well, glancing is also up. So we didn't really get to see that yet. We'll keep watching. But this is very stable. As you can see, there's no real element here that is swaying the battle here. There's no real cause for concern. There really is no, opportunity for failure. Nobody died. When you're looking at speed teams, you kind of want to be concerned about how quickly are you putting out the necessary damage, and how much damage are you taking. And that's the hard thing with speed teams. Those counter shots, they still hit you. They hit you harder because you're using DPS units, so they're typically not as tanky. So you want to be conscientious of those factors. But this team really kind of solidifies what it looks like when you have so many buffs on your team and it protects you. So we just want to highlight that we took 5,000 damage on that counter hit without any defense buff. Granted, no, glancing was not up at the time and neither was attack buff. So the boss had very minimal accelerated damage. So we kind of want to look at how much it's reduced when we take a revenge hit on Veramos when we've got defense buff up. Because we should theoretically take half the damage. So we should be looking to take 2,500 or so. Okay, there we go. There we go. So you got a little bit of stuns going here. That crowd control certainly helps. It doesn't look like anybody got a turn from the enemy side. So even if we didn't get the stuns, it doesn't look like they were going to get their skills off. It certainly helps though. Okay, those are some clutch stuns. My only cause for concern here is, why am I lagging? My only cause for concern here now is going to be, how do we proceed with, not getting frozen every minute? It'd be great if we weren't getting frozen. And my Bella is getting resisted so frequently. Come on. What is going on here? All right, there's the glancing. There's the attack speed slow. Man, I love how much is in this team. This is very similar to the first team that I ever used when I first started the game. The only difference is I used Orochi instead of Ardella. But otherwise, this is the same team. I never tried the Almond Darien teams. They're alternatives, certainly. Maybe Darien in place of... Nah, I wouldn't even change this team, actually. I think it's very stable, and I like it all around. All right, we could use some more crowd control here, just to be safer. So without Ardella hitting anybody... There we go, thank you very much. Without Ardella, killing anything, we can still take a hit. We don't want to take any hits. Okay, here we go. There's defense break. Attack speed slow. We didn't get the attack break. There's the counter... Ooh. Why did that do so much? Maybe when he hit me for 5,000 last time, it didn't crit. I suppose it didn't crit. That's the only thing I could think of there. 6,000 there with defense buff? Maybe it's because my Veramos has higher defense than my Bella. Oh, we established that likely wasn't a crit. Okay. There we go. There we go. After this, we'll try it with Sigmaris in place of Ardella as different DPS. That'll actually help the run faster because that'll add, not just more single target damage from his skill 2 nuke. It'll also offer some AoE effect too. 254, that's not bad. So these are sub 3-minute runs. Not bad at all. Now, we'll do one more run before we say our goodbyes. We'll use Sigmaris. My friend Limey's Sigmaris. Or Alexi. I thought it was Alexi Lime. Okay. So he has his on Violent Guard. This doesn't look like he's going to be fast at all. That's going to be the only dilemma. We need more speed. But, we'll try it. He's got an HP lead, but we'll use his lead. And we'll go for broke. We will go for broke. All right, Giant. What you got? Oh, man. Paired with Galleon, this would be like a sub 2-minute team. Oh, that was some nice damage from Ice Volcano. No doubt about that. No doubts about that. Was that 12,000 with no defense break? I couldn't see if there was defense break on that crystal. So Sigmaris has a freeze. He's got a single target freeze. So he's got a stun. And then he's got AoE attack break. So he's all around really clutch for this team too. Ardella's only extra addition to the team was that she offered that defense break because of the elemental relationship, but it's not it's not really necessary since we already have two units that offer defense break in here. Okay, I wonder if this is going to be this laggy at the end because it's coming on very laggy right now. I just recorded straight through QuickTime and I didn't even use OBS, which is why I don't have a face cam in because I'm trying to figure out the best way to reduce all these lags. So my iPad is connected, straight to my Mac. Oh, goodness. All right. So I think we kind of covered everything. There's not really anything else I really want to touch on. These teams all have, some synergistic purposes and relationships that kind of work together very well. Except for the fact that he's not landing any of his debuffs. All right, so that Sigmaris could use a little bit more accuracy. Accuracy is as a sub-focus, not a priority focus. Nice damage, 35,000. I can't wait to see what that does on the boss. 50k would be a nice goal. For a beginner's team, though, that would be way too much. All right, you see how clutch that AoE is? This could be like a 2-minute, 30-second run. Okay, here we go, here we go. Here we go. 31k on skill 3. That wasn't even skill 2. I can't wait to see what skill 2 does. Although it's going to scale lower now because it's based on max HP. Let's see, 22k. It's not as much. Could have been 30k. Thank you, Bella. Thank you for clutch stripping that attack buff. Very nice, very nice. Look at all those debuffs. Man, poor boss got shredded. So stable and consistent, this team. There's like no chance of failure. 230. Oh, man, I called that. 230. Alright guys, so we kind of touched on the runes, we kind of touched on the builds. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave comments at the bottom. Please subscribe. Subscriptions are a YouTuber's way of getting, you know, more videos out there more frequently. The like button is something that everybody always wants to hit, so please also feel free to hit the like button and smash that subscribe button. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm sorry that this video was a little bit last minute, I suppose. You know, I'm not really feeling very well, but I wanted to put the video out there anyway. So thank you for, I'm sorry. Thank you for tuning in. Later, guys.